I am Sandler Chase's mom. Sandler Chase is my 12-year-old, amazing, passionate little skateboarder. He and his sister, Bootsy Chase, are the only two children in the entire world with their diagnosis, an unbalanced translocation of chromosomes 2 and 8. What does that mean? It means we get to write that chapter in medical books. And right now we're adding to that chapter. It also means we've got a severe dedication and passion for skateboarding.
That's where I come in. My name is Ben Sauer. I'm Sandler Chase's skate coach and mentor, I guess you could say, and I've been working with Sandler for like almost a year now?
Yeah.
Almost a year. And we're going to talk a little bit about his journey as a person, as a human in this world, going through his diagnosis and how he's kind of overcome a lot of the setbacks, but also his journey as a skateboarder and what skateboarding has done in his life.
Sandler was given challenges that were completely and totally unexpected, unforeseen. When he came into the world did not know what to expect. The medical community didn't know what to expect. He and his sister both are delayed in fine and gross motor. They're both deaf, suffer from optic nerve hypoplasia. They both also suffer from something called Raynaud's phenomenon. Sandler, unlike Bootsy, was a lot more challenging medically speaking. He endured many surgeries. I think he's up to about his 13th major surgery. The last one he had done was cranial facial reconstructive surgery. Not one of those surgeries has held him back. I think the scariest thing through all of the processes we've gone through was the sit-downs with the doctors telling me, well, first, we don't really expect this kid to see past a second birthday, so we'll put him on a feeding tube. He was on a 24-hour feeding tube, and let's just try to keep him alive. That was the goal at the beginning, and I looked at him, and he's got a lot of passion in his eyes. He's got a lot going on, and I looked at him and thought, I don't think this is going to be Sandler's end. I think this is just the beginning. And sure enough, as things got more exciting, I decided to pack 3 duffel bags and the 2 kids, and we were in Vail, Colorado, and we relocated to Tacoma, Washington. We spent a year there, and as he started to learn to eat, he didn't know how to eat. He was learning different things. He started to learn to eat, and I was able to wean him off his feeding tube, and he started gravitating towards anything active. They told him he would never walk, he'd never talk, and he started talking and he never stopped, and he started walking, and he didn't just walk, he climbed. He was climbing on walls, he was climbing on anything and everything he could, and I thought, all right, we've made it past our 2nd birthday. How much further are we going to go? The weather in Tacoma was a little bit limiting, and so we headed to Southern California, where he found his first skateboard and the weather that was conducive to be on a skateboard. And I thought, this might be it. This might be his outlet. It keeps him rolling around. He kind of acclimated a way to board with his inability to walk on his legs sturdily, so he was able to push on all 4s. And it was very interesting. And as he grew, he started talking. Like I said, he didn't stop. It was kind of hard to understand, but he kept going, and all of a sudden, we were heading into the 6th grade, and it was last summer. It was August 16th, the date I remember exactly. It was my birthday, and we had picked some friends up at the airport, John Wayne Airport, and as we were heading home, celebrating having friends in town and having a great week, we were T-boned and flipped upside down. We were all jaws of life out of the car. We had all survived miraculously. No one was injured. We came out of that accident and we were in shock, but we had yet again survived something we were not, especially Sandler, expected to survive. And we'd overcome something again. And then it was time for school to start. And I watched the struggle really begin. A struggle I didn't expect. I thought we'd been through a car accident. We had gone through living through things we weren't supposed to live through, medically speaking. And then I saw the greatest challenge, and that was seeing Sandler amongst peers or children his age that were mean and they were bullies. And we went to 6th grade camp, and I panicked and I thought, we're not going to make it through this year. These kids are going to destroy his confidence. And we made it home from 6th grade camp, and I immediately went to a skateboard shop. I had the guy set me up with a full deck and wheels, and I said, what do? I need to get him on a board. I need to get him busy. I need him doing something. And he passed along Ben's phone number, and he said, call this guy, put him on a board, call Ben. He knows a lot about skateboarding. He's got a family of his own, and he's great with kids. And I got in my car, and before I left the parking lot with my full deck for Sandler, I sent Ben an email, and I thought, he's either going to read this or he's going to say this lady is off her rocker. And thank God Ben read the email, and Ben,
yeah,
take it from there.
I received this email, and I remember looking at it, and I was just like, this just keeps going. I was like, so am I going to read this, or am I going to, I just didn't know like what this could possibly hold inside, and I just started, I'm like, let's just start with the first paragraph, and I started diving into his story a little bit. I just got more and more intrigued. I was just like, I have to meet this kid. Like, we gotta see where this goes. And I remember setting up the first lesson, and the first time I met Sandler, I was like, this kid is incredible. Like, I have to keep hanging out with this person, because every time I saw him, he was just so excited about life, skateboarding, being at the park, and just being a part of something. And it was infectious, and I wanted to keep feeding off that energy. And I just remember, like, this is going to be a journey. It was definitely hard for him to get on that board and kind of push properly and like balance, and it was a little bit funky at the beginning, and I was just like, I saw the potential. Like, he was so invested in the activity that he was willing to stop at nothing until he was like the best, and he just wanted to keep going. So it started with 1 day a week, and he was coming, and then he's like, I'm going to ask my mommy if I can come 2 times a week, and he started coming 2 times a week. And then now it's up to like 4 times a week, and not only that, he's there on the days he's not doing lessons, and he's there more than anybody at the park, including myself, dedicated, taking the hardest slams, getting back up, and just trying, and never giving up until he nails like the new trick or a trick he's done before, but perfecting it. And it's just been an amazing process watching how he's come from like this kind of awkward case on the board to being like quite the stylish young skateboarder, and his ability has just skyrocketed. Now that he's been at the park 7 days a week, it's like he progresses faster than I do. Like, he's never letting anything from his past keep him back from his like new future. So that's been my experience with him at the park. It's been an unspeakable journey.
And he doesn't go without incentive. He made sure one of the exciting milestones of his skateboarding over the course of the year was he invited his 6th grade teacher to come watch him. He made sure, and I had no idea. All of a sudden, she showed up, and it was nighttime, and the next thing I knew, he had a lesson, and his 6th grade teacher was there, and he looked at Ben, his coach, and he said, I'm gonna go drop that 8 foot. And Ben kind of looked at me, and I thought, I don't know it, Kenny. And Ben has been very good about, if he thinks he can do something, he'll let him do it. And sure enough, he dropped in that 8 foot, and the teacher happened to be filming on her phone. She filmed him drop in, and he landed it.
The first go, the 8 foot bowl. Just to preface, it was the big bowl at Costa Mesa Skate Park, and it's not a small ramp.
Right.
He worked up the courage, and he nailed it first go, and everybody was just like, he just pulled that off. It was incredible.
And she took that video and she took it to school, and she showed all of the 6th graders that video, and it was that defining moment where that group of kids who are all miles ahead of him academically and in all areas of cognitive, fine and gross motor, you know, parts of the world, and they looked at him and thought, oh, Sandler can do something none of us can do.
100%.
And that was the moment I realized 6th grade was not going to destroy Sandler's confidence. And from then on, they would come, they would gather around, they come to watch him, they come to cheer him on. I enjoy people think I'm nuts for as much time as I spend at the skate park, but to watch such an individualized sport and to see the camaraderie and to see the guys come together and cheer him on and cheer everybody on. They do it for everybody, and the brotherhood that's included, the camaraderie, the banging the boards, the high fives, the secret handshakes, and he's recently kind of made it into the curb cowboy scene, and it has given him a confidence I never could have imagined he'd get to hold on to. It has progressed his skateboarding. It has progressed in parallel his academics. It's
Social
done
skills.
1,000%.
His speech too.
1,000%. Yes. And Ben is awesome. Takes him on skate tours, and you can attest to he acts like a kid. He acts like a real live kid.
100%. He's one of the guys. He's one of the boys. That she was talking about this group called the Curb Cowboys. It's this crew of local guys that are always at our local skate park in Costa Mesa, and they started a little brand out of their garage that they do just kind of for their friends. And they surprised Sandler and made him a pro model deck. And I didn't even know about it. I showed up to the park and they had turned Sandler pro for their brand, and the entire skate park cheered him on, and nobody questioned if he deserved it or not. Everybody knew exactly why they were doing this, and that was one of my defining moments with Sandler, of watching him receive his first pro model board, and I was like, this is the beginning of the rest of his life. He's going to be changing everyone's perspective on what skateboarding can do for an individual and also a community. And it's made me just want to be a better person, a better skateboarder, a better friend, a better coach, and it's something that we'll never be able to thank enough. Is just skateboarding as a whole has completely changed his entire existence.
His passion is unmatchable.
Unmatchable.
It gives so much perspective to. It just gives so much perspective. He just embodies the kindness and I think just the old soul, and he brings so much to the sport. He brings so much to the kids, and the community, and the skateboard community brings so much to his life. It's an incredible match, and it will forever have molded him and continue to mold him. And I just am so blessed, and we are so blessed to have Ben and have met the people and gotten the opportunities. We had a very exciting opportunity arise that was completely unexpected. Tony Hawk, we've been in touch with the Tony Hawk Foundation, as a matter of fact, through a mutual friend, and Ben took it upon himself to meet or discuss, I guess.
We had a phone call,
with
phone meeting.
With the foundation, and they couldn't really help what we were going for, but invited us to an event that was local. It was very close to where we live, and they were doing a demo. Tony was doing a demo at Guacamigos in Newport Beach. And so Sandler and I rode our bikes, and I tried really hard to explain to him that this would be a demo, not something he'd be able to skate in.
Sandler wasn't in the demo. He
I
wanted
knew he'd have a hard time understanding that. But we got there, and he was disappointed. He saw the ginormous vert ramp, and he thought, I'm here, like I'm ready to go. What's up? And I said, you're here to watch. You're not here to do a show. And he was a little disappointed, and then through the sea of people, his favorite all-time teacher arose, came out of the sea of people, and he went running full force to give Miss Brandy a hug, and she said, "Do you want to meet Tony Hawk?" And he lit up like a Christmas tree, and they walked right over, and he gifted Tony some whoopee cushions, and he looked at Tony kind of just as an average guy, having no idea he was something great or, deserving the command of wonderful, accolades. And Sandler said, more or less, "I've given you this, now can I have your skateboard?" And Tony said, "Well, I do need it now, and I need it for another event, but I tell you what, I'll give it to you when I'm done." And all I kept thinking was, you can't tell Sandler you're going to give him something and not do it, and this guy's going to meet 1,000 gazillion more people. And several weeks went by, and sure enough, what was it, about 3 weeks later?
Yeah, like 3 weeks later, 2 weeks, something like that, a couple weeks.
We were at the skate park, and Miss Brandy showed up with Tony's boards honoring what Tony had said, and it was a signed board. It was the board, and a couple of extra decks apologizing for the delay, and he made good on his promise and talk about just a man of his word and making you realize, wow, what a great human, what humanity, humanity. It was incredible, and
Just restoration of humanity.
yeah, absolutely. And we've just had little events like that. Sandler does think that both Mickey, who works with Tony, and Tony work at the Mexican restaurant where the ramp was set up, so he does get confused when we drive by and they're not skateboarding the vert ramp on an average day. But other than that, it's probably one of my favorite stories so far.
And that event snowballed. We got in contact deeper than that, and we were actually invited to come to Tony's offices, which is, if you haven't noticed, what is behind us, this private training facility and beautiful office space. And we're out here, so fortunate to be here, giving Sandler the chance to be in a place that only a handful of people in the world have ever been or ever get the chance to go. And it's all from that skateboard. It's all from his dedication and his presence at the park, and his presence in the community, and what he does when he's in the room with people. You just want to be his friend, and you want to help in any way you can, because he makes you just fill up with joy and want it to never end. And that's why we're here today. It's because of Sandler. And it's only going to get crazier.
It's exciting stuff.
Yep.
And we have the best coach in the world to thank for that, and the best people that we are surrounded by that continue to invite him and make him part of these incredibly insane opportunities. And it is just something, every day we wake up and look forward to the unexpected, because that it literally is unexpectedly something exciting and wonderful has happened every single day.
We keep thinking, how is this going to get topped? How are we going to top this? And then every time it's like,
whoa!
Yeah, it just never ends. So we're just waiting for what's next with Sandler. And we have a website for him. It's called sandlerschase.com. We also have an Instagram and a Facebook. So if you check that out, we'll be posting vlogs on it every week. You can keep updated with his story. We're going to maybe start doing some t-shirts and hats and different types of merch to raise money for different charities, and also just raise awareness that disabilities don't mean you're disabled. It's just a little bit harder maybe than a typical person to do whatever task you're trying to accomplish, whether it's skateboarding, art, music, academics. But it doesn't mean you're inept. It means, if anything, you're more incredible. If you can overcome that and keep going, that's something that can speak for itself, and that's what Sandler has shown. And we just want to raise awareness for that type of mentality, that you're not lesser than. If anything, you're the leader. We need to follow people that are doing that.
That's 1,000%. And Ben and I, when we originally collaborated, we thought, oh, this will be great. Like, it'll be a sort of a special needs, avenue for kids in skateboarding. And literally within weeks, both of us were like, let's erase that. This isn't about special needs at all. This is about being able to, we don't call it defy the odds. We call it thrive the odds, because he's thriving. He is not defying anything. He's just getting after it and doing it. And it's a story. Yeah, he's got special needs, but that's just part of his personality, and it's not what defines him at all. Exactly. So
he's like, even just within his skateboarding, he's not just good for somebody who has special needs. He's now like talented enough to be good for anybody who's 12 years old or even older than 12 years old. And that's just something that just makes me blown away every time I watch him skate. I'm like, he's gone so far that now his peer group is like, I couldn't even beat Sandler in a game of skate anymore.
Well,
like, what does that even say? That's incredible.
And he's the kid that will skateboard literally for 8 hours and say, Mom, I'm gonna need 5 minutes, which in typical people time is an hour and a half. And so I'm like, okay, well, your dedication, it gets me every time, and I'm a sucker, so there I'll be another, 9.5 hours at the park. So
she's not kidding. He'll be there from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. or later.
It's true. It's a good thing the park hours last long.
Yep.
So please enjoy the journey. It's getting better by the day, and it sure is. It's an adventure. It's fun.
So do us a favor, follow at Sandler's Chase on Instagram, Sandler's Chase on Facebook, and then sandlerschase.com to keep up with the blog that Nikki writes every Monday. And just keep up with the journey, get involved in our story, and stay tuned for what's next.